We're dipping into the Country Life archives now and heading to a rehab centre on a small farm near Christchurch. At Nova Trust, people with alcohol, drug and other addictions or challenges find putting their hands in the soil helps them towards recovery. Cosmo Kentish-Barnes paid the centre a visit last year and first caught up with Nova Trust Chief Executive Steve Rossell.
Nova Trust is situated on about 30 hectares of prime land on what used to be the old Templeton Hospital site. So our main buildings in terms of our rehabilitation services are, in actual fact, the old nurses' accommodation and admin block.
Tell me about these services you provide here.
Well, the trust was developed back in 1981 and founded by what was a local builder and businessman and some colleagues from Christchurch. Don Malcolm was the original founder and was the chair for, I think, the first 20 odd years. So the services that we operate now are primarily focused on responding to the needs of those with addiction. So the purpose of the organisation, the trust itself, is to create pathways to a better life and recovery for those affected by alcohol and drug addiction and other life challenges. So we operate 3 residential services on the same site, each with a slightly different client group or FIORA group. And we work with about 100, 120 residents come through the service each year.
Yes, and I guess you have quite a few staff working here?
Yeah, we've got about 40 staff, sort of full-time equivalent staff. Most of those staff are working within the residential treatment and recovery services. And then we have a team of paid staff that work in the horticulture, social enterprise and the native nursery.
Where does the funding come from to run Nova Trust?
Right, the bulk of our core funding is contracted with Health NZ, Te Whatuora, previously the Ministry and the DHBs, and we get small amounts of charitable income. And then for the social enterprises, they operate very much as commercial businesses, and the revenue received obviously funds the operations of those social enterprises, the horticulture and native plant nursery. And the plan is that funding also supports and underpins some of the health funding.
How great that those social enterprises are handy for the trust in terms of raising funds, but also are great for the service users, I guess, in terms of their rehabilitation.
Yeah, I mean, it's an integral part of what we do in terms of the horticultural farming and the native nursery, in as much as they provide life and employment skills opportunities or the development of skills around, general life and living, whether that's cooking, cleaning, looking after yourself, but also that experience of the workaday routines that fit them very well for reintegrating back into the community post-treatment.
Kia ora, my name's Boyd Warren. I'm the commercial manager here at Nova Trust. I oversee the social enterprises, the farm, indoor growing, outdoor growing and the native plant nursery.
And Boyd, the residents work on the farm with you?
Absolutely. The life and employment skills component of the recovery program is really neat to be involved with. The FIORA volunteer between 12 and 15 hours a week while they're on site and work alongside the team.
What does a normal day involve?
Or checking on the livestock, working with the team on any issues they've got in terms of things they need to do their jobs, and dealing with customers for the native plant nursery and for the fresh produce, potentially talking to a stock agent, seed merchant. Yeah, pretty varied.
And so you have commercial partners?
We do. We're very well supported by the 2 main markets, Turners and Growers and MG. They've really bought into the Nova kaupapa, particularly the life and employment skills aspect, and great partners to us. Yeah.
Does some of the produce that's grown here end up in supermarkets?
Absolutely. We get great support actually from Foodstuffs locally. They buy our fresh chilies, which you'll see soon. And My Food Bag also support us by putting our cucumbers into their menus quite regularly. So yeah, we've got a I guess you'd call it a competitive advantage, and in fact we've got a very worthy purpose in what we do that underpins not just the vegetable and beef production, but the Life and Employment Skills program, helping Whaiora get well and re-enter community.
So you've got Nova Fresh. What about Nova Natives?
Sure, Nova Natives grows, unsurprisingly, native plants, and we do a lot of contract growing for Fulton Hogan. So they're big projects where they're doing infrastructure work around quarries, roads, all sorts of amenity planting. Quite often the plants will come from here. I think we've probably supplied them 100,000 plants in the last couple of years, so not insignificant numbers.
So this farming social enterprise is providing important revenue for the whole trust.
Yep, completely intertwined financially. The support program couldn't operate, I don't think, without the social enterprise, and certainly the social enterprise couldn't operate without the support program. So, yeah, it's a completely simpatico relationship.
We are standing beside several paddocks and we can see some cattle in the distance. What sort of breed are they?
We have got some Frisian steers over there. We're very lucky, the trust attracts some really lovely support from local dairy farmers who will give us a few steer calves every year. And then over to our left there, you can see a cultivated paddock where we've got 2.8 hectares of beetroot, which will be ready for harvest from mid-December. And this paddock we're standing right in front of has just been sprayed off. That's another 2.5 hectares that will also be going into beetroot.
Why beetroot?
We are good at growing beetroot, and we've got markets for it as well.
So you'll produce what, tonnes?
Yeah, in the hundreds of tonnes.
Where are we heading to now?
We are going to head over to our indoor growing where you'll see all our cucumbers and chilies.
We are approaching a huge set of tunnel houses here.
Yeah, we've got 7 tunnel houses across the site, so that accounts for about 8,000 square metres of tunnel housing.
Now we've just come into one of the tunnel houses and the cucumber plants here are 2 metres tall.
Yeah, they're 2 metres tall, so these are probably coming towards the end of their sort of growing cycle, so they've got probably a week or two more to do.
And on each plant there are several cucumbers.
Yeah, these look pretty ready to be picked off the vine at the moment.
You must have trucks coming here quite regularly to pick up produce.
We have our own truck. We take it directly to the market. So the produce that we grow here, we sort of manage the whole process from seed all the way to the supermarket shelves. And the resident population are involved in all aspects of that, certainly in terms of the horticulture, which is great because they can see something literally grow from seed to something they then go and buy in the supermarket, which is huge impact on self-esteem for someone involved in all of that process.
How long do people stay here on average?
Most of the residents or Whaiora that we have coming for treatment and recovery are staying probably 12 weeks. We have programs operating 3 to 6 months, and we have another service that operates a placement program of 8 weeks, and that's working with some of the most severely addicted resident population in the country, actually.
Now I can see Harry, the production manager, down between the cucumbers. How's it going, Harry?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So tell me what your day-to-day role is.
So like in our day-to-day role, in summer we do the picking every alternate day, like Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And on other days we have to train the plant. So we do the winding, then we have to remove the tendrils and other extra fruits and the laterals. And we have to train our plants for good productions. So that's our regular duty. Otherwise we picking them, and we also reduce the leaf load on the plant as well. Yeah.
How do you work in the residents into the production process?
Yep. Like I try to find out like what's he like or she likes and what she don't like. And on the basis of that, or even I also try to find out like what their past background. And then I find out like, okay, the person gonna shoots over here. And then I slowly introduce them. I find out like few residents, once they finish their course, they are like a good horticulturist. Yeah, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, so you can just see through the plastic there that have just been planted by the look of it. Well, this is where we grow our chilies, and it sounds like some of the Fiora have got the beats on to get the work pumping and keep the motivation up. Let's go and check it out.
Yeah.
These are capsicum annuum, but cayenne pepper. So they're replacement chili plants just coming on. You can see some of the larger ones, the older ones over there. They're in full fruit at the moment.
How often do you harvest the chilies?
Yeah, chilies are harvested on the same rotation as the cucumbers. 3 times a week in summer, twice a week in winter when it's a bit cooler. Yeah, harvest them from about 8 centimetres.
What's the most popular coloured chili?
Yeah, I understand that about 90% of all the chilies sold in New Zealand are red, but we actually focus on the green ones just because we're smaller. That's a wee niche we can kind of carve out.
Hi Sam. What are you up to in here?
I'm pretty much just taking some leaves off the chilies so that they can keep growing, and yeah.
Nice job.
It is, it's relaxing, therapeutic.
Have you tasted these chilies that you're working on?
No, I hate spices.
Where are you from?
I'm from Tauranga.
And how long have you been at Nova?
I've been here 2.5 weeks.
And what's your story? How did you end up here?
Pretty much through alcohol addiction. Yeah, so we don't have a lot of facilities up in Tauranga to be able to help with that. So yeah, pretty much came down here to sort life out.
Are you enjoying this plant and growing aspect to your recovery?
Definitely. I think if it wasn't there, I wouldn't be able to cope, really. I think it gives it another dynamic to be able to get out and about and do something like this. And I thought, well, if I enjoy it, that's going to help with my recovery.
What were you doing before you came here? What sort of work?
I'm a plasterer by trade, but the body's getting a bit too old now, so got to take a step back and think about what I enjoy, and this is definitely it.
What are your goals once you've had some time out here?
I think maybe just to go home and be more present, really, and get back into work and enjoy life as it should be without waking up every day thinking of alcohol and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes. Has it been a challenge getting off the booze?
Yeah, very much so. Very much. It's one of those addictions you don't think is that bad, but it's definitely a life changer, physically and mentally, especially when you're young.
Now, Boyd, you are contract growing some chilies here, and these are the hot ones.
Yeah, very hot. It's probably too hot for me. We've got the Scotch bonnet and the chocolate butler and the habanero red. But this is our first go at these, and they don't seem to strike as quickly or as successfully as the commercial avatar that we normally grow. But they're coming away.
Who are you growing those for?
A local hot sauce maker called Spicy Boys.
We're behind the tunnel houses now, and I guess this is the Nova Natives area that we're approaching.
Yeah, that's right. This is the planting out area for Nova Natives, and we can see our expert plant man Jake over there amongst the Plagianthus regius.
Good, Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
So what is your role here, Jake?
I'm production coordinator, so that's basically just in charge of all the production and crop care of the nursery itself and propagation as well.
Yeah. What have you got growing?
Mostly re-veg type plants, so a lot of ribbonwoods, griselinias, muehlenbeckias, beech trees, pittosporums, cabbage trees, flaxes, all your usual suspects.
And some of the plants are up to 1 metre tall. They must be ready to go in the ground.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff sort of waiting on landscapers to really get going, depending on their site works and when they're ready to plant.
Do landscapers contact you? How does it work?
Yeah, they usually contact us a few weeks in advance to let us know that they're going to be planting, and then we'll get the plants ready for sale, and they'll come and pick them up.
By the end of the year, how many plants would you have sent off?
Last year we probably maybe 30 or 40,000, but that's increasing every year. The nursery's only a couple years old, so we're still in the sort of start-up phase.
Yes.
But we recently secured a big growing contract with the Christchurch City Council, so we're trying to sort of plan for that.
It must be satisfying for you having, recovering addicts growing plants and working with them.
Absolutely. Plants are my first passion, but, since working here, that's been a real eye-opener, and just seeing how much horticulture can actually impact on people's lives, even if it's just something as simple as getting up every morning, doing a wee bit of physical exercise, and that, forms them to a good mental state as well. So that's been a real rewarding part of my job.
I can see a couple of people working on the other side of the natives. Are they residents?
Yeah. So those are two of my crew, Tony and Peter. So they've been doing a lot of the weeding at the moment. They were doing a lot of potting up, but the potting up sort of slowed down at the moment. So we're just trying to get on top of the weeds before they explode.
Yeah, weeding is one of those jobs that no one wants to do, but it has to be done.
Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks of horticulture is weed control. It's always very time consuming.
Hi, my name's Peter. I'm from Christchurch, and I sort of came in about 6 weeks ago, and I came here mainly because it involved horticultural work as well as some rehab. And, it's a nice vista everywhere. It's nice to look round.
I can see a skiff of snow through the hedges over there on the mountains.
Yeah, the snow doesn't last that long, but I think it's having the animals round as well. It's familiar, having the smell of sheep, cattle and sheep.
How did you end up here? What are you recovering from?
I'm recovering from drugs and alcohol. Not particularly one or the other, but a lot of them. And I went through some trauma a long time ago, a lot of things I didn't deal with. I haven't always been in this position. I've had successful jobs where I've had to be responsible. I've travelled overseas. But I just isolated myself till I was just drinking every day and doing other drugs. But I couldn't handle going to a rehab where it's just education. So this is why this place appealed to me. And also we eat really well here. So if you combine all those things of being outside, doing some horticulture, having the classes in the afternoon, which I don't really need, but you do get to care about people and mix with people you wouldn't normally see.
Boyd, you must strike up some good friendships with the residents who come here and work with you.
Yeah, you do. Many of them are really endearing and, but they're here for 3 months and then gone. So, yeah, but certainly a lot of them touch your heart while they're here.
Yeah.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
I said if you're going to talk to anyone, you're going to talk to Shannon.
Oh, yeah, she'll give me something to talk about.
What are you doing today, Shannon?
Today we are planting little baby cucumbers, putting our magic in. And they actually grow quite long, like Jack and Beanstalk, They're beautiful.
Do you love working with plants?
I love working with plants, yes. Coming in, I had lost contact with how much I really love it. And it's a real joy to watch something grow. It's kind of like self-growth, you get to learn to start from a seed again and regrow.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Do you get to taste some of the food that you've been growing?
I sure do. Not only do we taste it, but every now and then we'll get some cucumbers. And, us girls will have a night where we put the cucumbers on our eyes and then we'll take beauty tips from the boys. Note to self, don't do it because they made us cover our faces in cucumbers and chilies. And they said the longer it's on there, the better. So we woke up in the morning and we're quite wrinkled up. And we're like so mad at the boys, but it was our fault, right? Taking advice from male for beauty tips? What?
Yeah, note to self, don't put chilies on face.
That's right. It still burns.
Shannon, what's your story? Where are you from and how did you end up coming down here to Nova Trust?
I'm from Tauranga and I am an addict. And I chose this program specifically because we work with plants. Around the North Island and the South Island, this is actually the only rehab centre that offers you to put your hands in the dirt and get in touch with the whenua, and it grounds us. And so I love the people here. I love what they have to offer. Boyd is awesome. Keeps me on my toes. Yeah.
How long have you been here?
I have been here for 6 weeks now.
And when will you go home?
I will go home on the 23rd of November. Yeah, really excited about it, but at the same time have grown such a community here and such a bigger family. And so it's going to be sad to leave,
but also good to leave, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a nice social atmosphere here. You've made friends.
Yeah, more than friends, lifetime friends, if I can say that. Yeah, being with others around you that are struggling with the same type of things helps you to feel comfortable within your own skin and understand yourself and also grow within yourself, just like the plants.
Was it quite challenging being here for the first few days, obviously facing up to your addiction?
Yeah, it was. Coming from the North Island, I knew that not only was I stepping away from my family and going away from my children for the longest I ever have, but also a completely new island. And I was so scared, but I knew I needed it, and I knew I wanted it. I wanted it that bad that I was wanting to just be alone in a whole new complete environment. And they accept me with open arms, the staff, everybody.
There's a really good vibe here.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? A real funky one, I reckon.
Tell me about your children.
My children, I have a 22-year-old, 19-year-old, 18-year-old and a baby who's 6. And we're all best friends, and sadly they had to watch their mum struggle, and what woke me up was actually seeing the pain in their eyes and the fear. They weren't angry at me, they weren't judging me, they were scared because they wanted their mum back.
Yeah, because they love you.
That's right. And to come from children who love you that much to support me through this journey made it that much easier. And they always say to me, like, I'll send them photos of us in these gardens and that, and they're like, Mum, it's more like you're on camp than you're at rehab. You seem like you're having so much fun. I'm like, yeah, we are. Yes. If I'm honest, I thought I was going to be sitting in a corner shaking for like 3 months, Yeah. But no, actually, this place has helped me to grow and to love myself for who I am and to accept myself, which is amazing.
If you don't mind me asking, what drug are you rehabilitating from?
Methamphetamine, cannabis and alcohol. Yep.
And how is that going?
It's going great. I have learnt that I know within myself I can't touch these things. I've tried to do it by myself before, and sometimes it doesn't work for us. Sometimes we have to step out and take this self-reflection journey on our own and find ourselves, because sometimes we're easily influenced, as I am. I tend to go with the flow, and I'm quite impulsive too, like, yeah, let's do that. But now I'm learning that my impulsiveness isn't always a great thing. It can lead me astray. So this place is helping me to get to know what Shannon wants and who Shannon is and what she wants in her future. Yeah.
Can you see yourself working in the horticultural industry in the future?
I can. Absolutely. It's a beautiful skill to gain, and it's really I'm a really bad singer, but I love singing. You probably heard me. But the plants don't complain, they're my besties.
Apparently music actually helps plants to grow.
Even if it's sung badly.
Oh, lovely. Oh, well, thank you so much for chatting to me, Shannon. And what's on the agenda for the rest of the day?
For the rest of the day, after here, we have lunch and we eat these little babies and our salads, and then we have our skills program in the afternoon, and then gym.
Gym?
Yeah.
So you're pumping weights?
Yeah, pumping weight. And then we also do a lot of walking, and we go down and feed horses, even though they don't like cucumbers very much, fussy. But yeah, it just grows you, this place. There's so much to offer here, more than people actually know.
One of the residents at Nova Trust at Templeton in Canterbury. That piece, produced by Cosmo Kentish Barnes, was from our archives last year.